Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. Triplemania 33, I think it's 33, is in the books. This was going to be an interesting one, Larson, because given that WWE has, I don't even know if the deal is like officially closed, but clearly WWE has taken AAA in terms of like, that we're assuming the deal is done and WWE is taken over. They broadcast it on both, I think, AAA's YouTube channel and WWE's YouTube channel. And so we got, for the first time, AAA's biggest show, Triplemania, under WWE Production, their presentation. And so, it was a very different AAA in some ways and a very similar AAA in other ways. And I think that's kind of the most interesting story for this year.
Yeah, I think so too. The question going into it was WWE going to respect the legacy, tradition, and the current creative of AAA upon purchasing the company, or were they going to use AAA as essentially NXT Mexico?
You're right.
Were they going to just say, all right, this is our developmental territory here in Mexico now? So, like, if you ever wondered what a Triplemania would look like as produced by WWE, this is what that was. They kept a lot of the things that we enjoy about AAA. We got heel ref. Some of them are small. Some of them are pretty major. Like, heel ref is a pretty important part, or has been at times a very important part, to the whole AAA experience, at least from us as viewers, especially as it relates to his story with Fabby Apache that's been going on for a while.
Yeah. Like,
they have a beef, and that's been well established for years in AAA. And as soon as he reffed one match, and it was the Reina de Reinas match, women's title match.
Yeah.
And so instantly we're like, all right, is this going to be, this is really a real litmus test. Is this going to be something they carry on with or no? And they did. And that was great to see.
Yeah.
From a production standpoint, very obviously much more a WWE production. Like, everything right on time, there's been previous Triplemanias that are scheduled to air at a certain time, and and it doesn't, and just in terms of the production, the photography of the show, it felt much more like a WWE production. The matches had a bit more of a WWE feel, I thought, to them. Overall, there was a bit less chaos across the board that, we're typically used to with these Triplemania shows.
Yeah, part of the charm, honestly, we started watching Triplemanias back, I think, in like 2017, 2018. No, I think it was 2018, because we were in the office at that point. I think that was the first time we watched it. And back then, they would allow us to stream, because I think they would run it on Twitch. And so
you could co-stream it,
You could co-stream it. And so it'd be our reactions. It was some of our most popular streams at the time. And unfortunately, that only lasts like a year or two, I think. And then we started doing traditional watch-alongs. And, at a certain point, a couple of years ago, they started doing 3 Triplemanias per year. It kind of seems like maybe they gave WWE the idea, because it seems like in a couple of years, we might get a Saudi Arabia WrestleMania, a regular WrestleMania. And so, Triplemania started running 3 per year under the Triplemania brand. They have other monthly shows that they run, but they did 3 Triplemanias. And I mean, what you said is exactly right. There is some amount of charm in the way they would produce them in the past. And that charm was not always charming, I'll put it that way, because starting your broadcast 30 minutes late, or, just sometimes there were just weird production things that would happen.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, part of the charm was in the chaos of AAA.
Yeah.
And now that is clearly gone. There were oftentimes, we mentioned this during our watch along, and thanks everybody who watched along with us.
Yes. Thank you so much.
there were matches. I think the biggest thing for me personally that I don't necessarily mind. It's sad for me to see it go from somebody who I love getting a kick out of. I get such a kick out of local production when a production is really localized, and with AAA, you would have the green screen Tron graphics that were very unique to AAA.
Yeah.
And yet they were like 10 to 15 years behind modern, like American production, what we're able to accomplish these days. But I love that kind of stuff because it really gives you a local cultural flavor. When I say local, I mean, it's like Mexico, but it gives you a flavor for a specific territory, if you will. And that's obviously gone. Now, I don't think anybody at AAA would probably begrudge that because it's like, hey, we're $1 billion company. We're going to come in and we're going to offer you up state-of-the-art technology to produce your shows. What production would ever say no to that? From the user experience, I enjoy when that promotion was able to produce it through their vision and what they're able to accomplish, what they have available to them. I like that.
Me too. I do too. And you're right. It gives each promotion their own identity.
Sure. Yeah.
How they photograph the show, because how New Japan photographs their wrestling is different from AEW, from different WWE, and different from how AAA used to do it.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I really enjoy about watching wrestling from around the world, smaller promotions, large promotions, is to see how they produce the show.
I still maintain that one of the most interesting eras of TNA was when they were such on the ropes that and I think this is something that Jarrett wanted to do with Global Force Wrestling, and that's why they started doing it this way, is they would go and do tapings, and we went to one of them. They would go do tapings for their show at various indie promotions, like more prominent indie promotions. I think it was big time in the Bay Area that we went to that they were doing a taping, and it really did give you a sense of what all these different promotions would have to offer and the flavor of those promotions. I mean, they did it for a very short period of time, but they went to Callahan's promotion.
Yeah.
They went, like I said, they came out here to the Bay. So it was really interesting. And so, but I understand it. Somebody comes in and says, hey, if somebody were to come in and be like, hey, Steve and Larson, you guys want a 5-man production crew and, a couple of really great cameras, and we'll bring into a nice studio, I'd be hard pressed to say no to that, because it's like, I wouldn't mind looking a little bit more produced up.
At the same time, you're like, I don't know what to do with this.
If it was all expenses paid and I'm like, all right, yeah, you guys know what you're doing. Let's go ahead and
if all I'd do was show up and talk for an hour.
Yeah, right. And it looked like $1 million. Of course we would do it.
Sure.
And I'm sure there'd be plenty of people who'd be like, man, I miss when Steve and Larson were in those little boxes, from their homes. And I get that. And that's valid.
Yeah. 1,000%.
But that is missing from AAA. I don't blame them. I understand. I mean, I don't blame them. It's WWE. That's just the way they're going to do it.
Yeah.
But you mentioned the heel ref, and I'm glad you did, because the other thing that I'm really going to miss out on, and this does have to do with the substance of the shows, is I would really be hard pressed to think that we're going to get anything resembling hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
Because when for example, the Pagano, what was it? The one you mentioned during the stream, it was the loser tournament, and we got
LA Park versus Viano 4.
Right, yeah. That is a violent match.
Yeah.
When we got Pagano versus Chessman.
Yeah,
that was a violent match.
When Santos Escobar as El Hijo del Fantasma lost his mask. It started as a cage match. People, got out of the match, but ended up being LA Park versus Santos.
Yeah.
Super violent match.
Yeah, and I would be hard pressed to think we're going to get.
Yeah.
Look, blood can happen in matches, but they made sure it happened in matches.
For example, we're not going to see Blue Demon Jr. with a hammer bashing Dr. Wagner Jr.'s hand against the top turnbuckle.
I really doubt that that's the kind of stuff that we're going to see. And that was much of the joy of AAA was they were unpredictable. And they would do things that would not fly here on cable television, on WWE produced stuff. And that to me is, I think, a big loss.
It is.
But
it really is.
The characters as presented, they all stuck to what we remember from them. And I think in a way, for example, Nino Ambergisa got a really great focus spotlight on him in that mixed tag match that he was always, as long as we've been watching, I think he's been around. And he's always been there as one part of a really large, crazy, wacky roster. But here they look at him and they're like, oh, this is a guy that people can connect with. Let's give him a bit more of a spotlight. So that's kind of interesting as well.
It's interesting watching Triplemania and seeing the emphasis, by and large, focused on the characters in AAA. I can't even think of one elongated sequence during the course of the show where there's a bunch of crazy high-flying moves going on.
Yeah, right, yeah.
This show did not have a lot of that. Every match just about was focused on character.
Yeah, and they would let moments breathe. And again, one of the more interesting aspects of AAA was you kind of don't want moments to breathe because you'll just be missing, or you'll be sitting there and you'll catch something out of the corner of your eye and be like, what the hell was that? And you're right, the madcap nature of it, that seems to be gone as well in favor of, hey, let's let the audience understand this. And I understand that. But, I think one of the reasons why Nino Ambergisa, I think, is a good example is because I never knew what this guy was really about. He was just there. And I didn't really need an explanation. I was like, oh, look at this guy. And now he's got and I'm sure this probably predates WWE. I never noticed the pronounced hamburger logo before. And he comes out with burgers.
Yeah.
And he used it in the match with Finn Balor.
Yeah.
And he never got that singular spotlight, at least in any of the Triplemanias that we watched. That was a very WWE feeling thing.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by presentation, both in terms of how the show was photographed, how the wrestlers were presented, and the nature of the action in the ring.
Yeah.
In that respect, it all felt very, very, very WWE. But at the same time, they are obviously true to the characters there in AAA for the most part. And it seems like they are, at least for the time being, carrying on with some of the narrative threads they've been doing for a while. But I guess it probably is worth talking about Vikingo. Spectacular wrestler. Someone who at one point was seemingly one of, if not the most popular wrestlers in AAA.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And then once WWE bought the company, at that time, Alberto Del Rio, El Patron, was the mega champion. They did a quick title change to get the title on Vikingo, and the crowd not liking Vikingo since then.
Yeah.
He got booed a lot tonight during the show. He got booed even more when he won.
Yeah.
It's an issue because they want to position him, Vikingo, as not just top babyface, but essentially this is the dude they're putting out there to market AAA.
Yeah.
And to have him get these type of fan reactions, I mean, it's easy to make the parallels between Roman in like 2016, 2017, all the way to 2020, basically, until he turned heel. And what's happening now in terms, I mean, the circumstances are a bit different, obviously, but in terms of the fan reaction, how do they get out of this?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it's funny because it sort of giveth and taketh away because the WWE wrestlers that are there were wildly over. The two biggest pops for the night, or the two biggest crowd reactions, were for Dom and El Grande Americano. The AAA crowd, they love those guys. And so it's like, I don't know what the plans are for Vikingo. but seemingly, and I'd appreciate if we have any, fans or listeners or watchers either in Mexico or maybe who are really tuned in to AAA to maybe in the comments give us, some clues here. But the crowd, the fan base of AAA, understanding how they feel about WWE purchasing the company, is it, similar to a degree, how do TNA fans feel about WWE's partnership with TNA, where now you got two WWE signees, two NXT stars carrying your main titles. The AAA crowd, that's a bit different because the relationship with the fans in AAA, I think, is a different one than obviously, fans of TNA versus, fans of WWE, et cetera, et cetera. But it's going to depend. It's going to depend on, are the fans going to be like, this is crap? Because they love when you put Dom in there. They love that shit. And as long as WWE honors that crowd enough, I feel like they can probably let the Vikingo thing figure itself out, maybe. I think that's probably the situation there, because at some point he's going to be dropping the belt. At some point that's going to happen. Or they just roll. I don't know how you roll with the guy being, maybe he's a heel in Mexico, and maybe when they bring him to, main roster or whatever they're going to do with him, he'll be wildly over in America. Mm-hmm. We ain't going to boo him because look what this guy can do. And there's not the history there. This is a direct rejection of WWE rejecting Alberto. That was their guy. He became their mega champion, super popular over there. He doesn't have the baggage seemingly that he has here. And I don't know what the perception is there in terms of, the reason why Del Rio doesn't have the best reputation out here. But seemingly that doesn't matter to the AAA crowd. And so that's our guy. You're rolling with our guy. And all of a sudden you come in, you put your guy in who was used to be their guy, Vikingo. Yeah, fans, they don't like that kind of stuff, So the answer to your question is like, I don't know. Well, let me ask you, let me throw this back on you.
Oh gosh.
If it was you, because I guess maybe you got to pull the minds in AAA. I wonder if there's anybody there saying, listen, we got to figure this. We got to be careful about this because Del Rio's popular here and this might backfire. Put it on a heel, put it on a bad guy. Yeah. That's what you do first. Yeah. And then Vikingo can come in and take it from that guy. Maybe you won't get that. Maybe that's enough separation so the crowd will be cool with that.
Yeah.
But they just hotshotted Vikingo because he's the biggest name there and they love him and we all love him.
Yeah.
Crowd doesn't love him though. The crowd in AAA don't love him.
Yeah, that's what I thought of too, was you have somebody, I don't know who, whether there's
Messias, title for title, and he
like
gets
that.
both.
Yeah. And you have someone beat Alberto, hold the title for, you don't want to do a thing where the I don't want to use the word transitional champion, but that's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
You don't want to have that champion hold the title for just like a couple weeks, build up the reign a little bit, have Vikingo chase, and then so when Vikingos win happens, it seems like a coronation,
Yeah.
And at that point, hey, it's obvious W is behind Vikingo as being the face of AAA. Heck, you know what they could have done? Had someone beat Alberto for it. Take it to Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm.
Have the Mega Championship to be defended at Survivor Series and have Vikingo win it there.
Yeah. You might get a different reaction. Survivor Series San Diego. So, I don't know. I think that we kind of understand what they probably should have done. Mm-hmm. You're in a situation.
That's hindsight, obviously,
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe it's hindsight for them as well. or maybe they don't care. Because you're always going to look, the thing is also you're always going to have, and I know Dom is over here. People love Dom, but they also love to boo him. So it's a really great engagement thing with Dom, the character, because it's like, hey, we really like your work and you're having a great time, but we're supposed to boo you. So that's what they're going to do. I mean, that's the kind of engagement that you want. Mm-hmm. The heel face dynamic is, I'm not going to say always, but often going to be different here than it is in Mexico. So when you send somebody in WWE who you're like, oh, these are bad guys, they go to Mexico, they're going to be good guys over there. You don't know what you're going to get. And so it's going to be like a figuring out process, I think, where they're just going to have to get through it. Clearly, though, the attendance isn't an issue because they sold, 19,000 tickets. And I don't have WrestleTix in front of me, but whether or not the number was kayfabe by WWE or not, I don't know. But it was upwards of 17, 18, 19,000, whatever the sellout was. Hell of a crowd there. And they were eating up a lot of this stuff. So I don't think it's an issue until it becomes an issue. Yeah. And I feel like there's plenty of time until that becomes an issue because there's so much other stuff that crowd really enjoys. We're going to talk about the rest of the show. We do have a couple sponsors for the show today, though. Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about them.
Let's do it. This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by Delete Me, Steve. We're living in a world where your data is a commodity.
Yes.
And anyone on the internet
yes.
buy your private details from data brokers. I'm talking about your name, your contact info, your social security number, even information about your family members.
Yeah, but with Delete Me, you can protect your privacy. Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable.
Tell me about it. Found out about all that the hard way. You see, my privacy is a huge deal for me, so few things make me as angry as when I go out to my mailbox and get one of those letters in the mail saying that my personal data has been breached yet again. Oh! In fact, I can think of a few times when someone has tried to use my identity to buy something. It's incredibly frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
But using Delete Me to remove my private data from data broker sites helps protect me from having something like that happen in the future. And you can take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me.
Now at a special discount for our listeners, today get 20% off your Delete Me plan by texting RAW to 64000. The only way to get 20% off is to text RAW to 64000. That's RAW to 64000. Message and data rates may apply.
And this episode is sponsored by Cash App. Steve, I know you're an accomplished artist.
Oh, thank you.
Customized a variety of things with your amazing artwork.
Oh, thank you.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
Now that Cash App card offers personalization feature, what would you put on your very own custom-designed Cash App card?
Omos holding the Mega Championship. He won the Copa Bardal.
Great idea. And if you weren't up to speed already, Cash App is way more than just a safe way to send and receive money. With Cash App card, you unlock a ton of perks without all the fees. Enjoy benefits like exclusive early access to nationwide concert pre-sales, Kendrick Lamar and Sabrina Carpenter, to name a couple recent examples, plus discounts on everyday purchases and popular brands you're probably already spending money on.
Yeah, Cash App also adds security to your money by declining suspicious card transactions and sending you a notification to make sure the payment is really you. If your card is ever lost or stolen, you can lock it with just one tap right in the app.
So spend with confidence with the Cash App card today. For a limited time only, new Cash App customers can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. For real. Just download Cash App, use our exclusive referral code GOINGRAW on your profile, send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App.
Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners, prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC, direct deposit, roundups, overdraft coverage, and discounts provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. So, Triplemania opened up with Triple H, Nick Khan, and HBK with AAA executives. Aida Cuevas sings the Mexican national anthem for us. And then we kick things off with the Copa Bardal, which was wildly fun. Of course, Copa Bardal. is kind of like a mix of like the Royal Rumble, kind of casino battle royal type stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like in Lucha Underground, they'd have Aztec Warfare. They had the same kind of rules.
Oh, okay.
Similar rules.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's, even like this and Rey de Reyes, where if you win Rey de Reyes, you win a giant sword.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Historically, I don't know if that's going to stick around now that WWE owns AAA.
Oh, God, I hope so. Drew has a sword. Why can't they have a giant sword for that?
I know. But, depending on the year, seems like the rules could change sometimes.
Yeah.
One thing that they did not keep, though, for the Copa Bardal is when the timer goes off for a new entrant, you used to have an explosion.
Yeah.
The timer would explode.
You know what they do that with the Rumble. Yeah, I wish that they would have kept that, but
It's
then
a
again,
small thing, but it's one of those things that never fails to entertain,
Yeah, I don't know. I forget, how many people in this? 20?
It's 14.
14. What a great number. 14, random ass number. Yeah, I could have used the exploding clock. Would have been good.
Again, it's a small thing, but it's one of those small things that has through the years endeared us.
Yeah.
To AAA.
I'm really curious, like, who specifically came in and said, we got to get rid of that?
I mean, I guess if Jeremy Borash is in the creative team, probably him.
I mean, the buck stops with him, but damn, whoever did that, there should have been somebody back there being like, look, the explosion really should stay.
Maybe the situation where Conan's like, no, we got to keep the explosions. And they said, Conan, you're going to go in the Hall of Fame if you get rid of the explosions.
Done. He's like, can I talk as long as I want for my Hall of Fame speech? Sure.
If we lose the explosions, then have at it.
Have at it, buddy. So we had La Parka, who entered number 1, which is significant. Laredo Kid, Joaquin Wilde, Abismo Negro Jr., Taurus, not to be confused with Mortas.
No.
Because they own the Taurus thing.
Yeah.
Arrows are kind of like, I would imagine, if the Aramis ever left AEW, they could just get somebody else to be hologram.
Mm-hmm.
Or like multiple holograms like we got with El Grande.
Could be.
Anyways, we got Tarus, Aerostar, Mecha Wolf, who had just amazing face paint.
Mm-hmm.
Cruz del Toro, Otis from WWE, Pimpinella, Cybernetico, Microman, who is like probably the crowd favorite right there, man. That shit was hilarious. Omos, who had some really wonderful bits with Microman. Octagon Jr. And then we were down to the final 4, Omos, La Parka, Octagon Jr., and Mecha Wolf. So
for a while, everybody was teaming up on Omos, and they just stopped.
Yeah, they just stopped doing that. And even Conan was like, why'd they stop doing that? And Conan's instincts were right there because it came down to La Parka and Omos. And La Parka, he was giving a bunch of drop kicks. He got him over, like one leg over, then a drop kick. He got both legs over, so he's on the apron. Another drop kick. Omos was down to one hand on the rope, and then he went for one last drop kick, and instead Omos grabbed him, chucked him over. So Omos got the win there, which if it had to be anybody in WWE, I'm down with Omos. Apparently, a lot of people say he had a really good run in Noah, won the tag titles there, and we have not seen him. But in terms of being an attraction that the AAA crowd probably be into, Omos is a great option. Still looks great. I don't know exactly what WWE wants or expects from him to come back to main roster.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, hopefully he'll find it in AAA and get to give us some entertaining stuff.
Hope so. After that, we had a Dragon Lee interview backstage. He mentions about how tonight's sold out, largest Triplemania of all time. He says he's going to prove he's the future Lucha Libre tonight, become the new mega champion. So then we had El Macias, formerly known as Mil Muertes in Lucha Underground, take on El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. So, of course, Dr. Wagner Jr., a Lucha Libre legend.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting ringside to watch his son wrestle. And so, of course, Dorian Roldan, who even going back to Lucha Underground, was Mil Muertes' manager for El Macias here. So he talks crap to Dr. Wagner Jr., same with Macias. And doubly so when Macias starts going after Wagner's kid's mask. So eventually, Dr. Wagner Jr. jumps the barricade when Dorian's on the apron, pulls him off, and then Dorian, for some reason, puts a mask on. Well, Dr. Wagner Jr. just rips that off, punches him, and then Dr. Wagner's son turns around, eats a spear, kicks out. Macias goes up top. Wagner hits him with an Xxxiii, follows with a superplex, and then a Wagner driver, the second of the match, to get the win. And then afterwards, Vero Rodriguez gets in the ring to interview him about his win. And so earlier in the day, Judgment Day is being interviewed backstage, and Finn says it feels great. It's the biggest Triplemania of all time because Judgment Day is there. And so Dom says tonight he's going to solidify himself as the greatest Mysterio of all time when he wins the Mega title. Rey steps in. There's some crap talk. And then Dom tells Rey to go sit and watch the greatest Mysterio of all time do something that he's never done, win the Mega title.
The El Messias match versus El Hijo de Dr. Wagner was fantastic.
It was fun.
That was awesome. The Dr. Doom attire was great.
Yeah.
That was really, really cool. The match itself, I really loved that. I thought that was really, really good stuff. So yeah,
it's one of those things. As soon as they show Dr. Wagner Jr. sitting ringside, you're like, he's getting involved.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the funny thing is that Dorian put on the mask and just goaded him into punching him. Like, yeah, you're not gonna get your dude disqualified, and like, why are you doing that? You're not gonna put up any defense.
Yeah,
that was hilarious. No, that was pretty classic AAA stuff. Although you got to figure if this was produced under AAA, if WWE had nothing to do with it, we'd have the bit where the mask for El Hijo del Dr. Wagner would have been like ripped clean off, blood everywhere.
Exactly.
That's what we would have gotten.
That's what we gotten, yeah.
Yeah. This next match was hilarious. It was Lola Vice, Nino Amberguisa, and Mr. Iguana versus the Judgment Day, Finn Balor, Raquel Rodriguez, and JD McDonough. And this was just pure comedy shit. And you love to see it. No, I don't think anybody was having more fun in that ring than Finn Balor. He was having a blast. He got to eat a bite of a burger. And he's got his own Demon Balor puppet now to counter the strength of La Yesca. Mm-hmm. This was wildly fun. And Finn first being creeped out by Mr. Iguana, not really wanting to have much to do to him. Eventually, he was face to face. And Finn brought up, so Finn wore one of his bank robber masks, but it had a AAA logo on it for his entrance. And so at a certain point, it's just him and Mr. Iguana. Mr. Iguana gets out La Yesca, the little puppet guy. And so Finn raises the mask under his, and he's got something there. And Mr. Iguana is intrigued. He's like, what's that? What are you going to counter La Yesca with? And so Finn puts, it's a fucking demon puppet, which is now on sale for $100 at WWEshop.com. This thing was fucking hilarious, though, man. This was great. The little demon chomped on La Yesca, got it off him, and then Nino Amberguisa comes in, brings a couple of burgers, gives one to Finn. Finn takes a bite of it. Iguana takes him out. Lola and Raquel then go at it. Roxanne pushes Lola off the top. La Hiedra runs down, accidentally hits Lola after she's going for Raquel, then chases Roxanne backstage. Raquel hits Lola with a boot. This is after Nino Amberguisa had done a suicide dive onto Finn, JD, and Mr. Iguana. And then Raquel gets the win with a Tahana Bomb. Wildly fun match. This is the kind of stuff that they should be doing with WWE wrestlers when they go down to AAA.
Again, just all character-based stuff.
Yeah, it is.
All character-based stuff.
Yeah.
Next, we had a street fight for the AAA tag titles. It was Los Garza defending those titles against Psycho Clown and Pagano. They had a video package beforehand where Psycho Clown said, yeah, I need someone better than Mr. Iguana to get these titles.
Yeah.
But it was successful because he and Pagano did, in fact, win. We didn't see Los Garza get to hit their finisher, though we did get the second rope variant through a table. They hit that on Pagano. Psycho Clown breaks up that pin. Then Psycho Clown brings another table in the ring, sets up at the corner. Los Garza tries to do the double suplex on him through the table. However, Pagano spears both members of Los Garza through the table instead. And later on, there's this crazy spot where Angel's on the apron. And I can't remember who was in which position exactly, but it was a combo power slam power bomb with both Pagano and Psycho Clown that was instigated by an Xxxiii from Berto. threw tables down on the floor.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So Berto, Psycho Clown gets back in the ring. Berto covers. Psycho Clown kicks out. So then Pagano gets a bit of barbed wire, brings it into the ring, wraps it around Berto, who's on the top rope. Pagano then hits a step-up tope on Angel, and then Psycho Clown hits Berto with the Spanish fly off the top rope with the barbed wire all wrapped around Berto to get the win.
It was another one of those matches where if this was not, well, if it wasn't WWE, we wouldn't have had the Garzas. But a street fight for the tag titles with Psycho Clown and Pagano, no blood.
Mask half ripped off, blood everywhere.
Exactly. Although Psycho Clown did do the cool mask tearaway thing with the mask underneath, and it looked all like face muscle. So it was still cool. I mean, I like that they still have that stuff.
You know what I just thought of is when Corey Graves' brother missed that moonsault to the floor when someone was on the stretcher. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, they need to bust out Sam Adonis, man. Yeah. So after that, we had an interview with Vikingo. Basically said the same thing everybody else is saying. I'm going to be El Campeon. And then we had Rey Mysterio come down to induct Conan into the AAA Hall of Fame. They had like a nice plaque there. It looked very sort of employee of the month.
It was huge.
It was much bigger than maybe employee of the year. You get the employee of the year. That was huge. So it
was like poster sized.
Isn't Conan helps run creative, doesn't it? Or he did, I think.
Yeah, no, I think he's still part of the creative team. Yeah.
This is basically like, you think somebody was just like, hey, AAA or Triple H, you know how like you did your Hall of Fame this year? Samesies. Let's do that. Maybe. I'm sad they did not talk more or go over more about his time in the Wolfpack. I know his career was much more expansive than the 9 months that Wolfpack was really around.
Yeah. It wasn't long.
But that was my favorite version of Conan. But yeah, he's in the AAA Hall of Fame now. It's kind of like me. Hey, Steve, guess what? Hey, guess who's going to the Going in Raw Hall of Fame? Steve is. Although I don't know if I'd talk as long as Conan did tonight.
That's what I was going to say. Like Ray, does the speech to introduce Conan. They have a really good video package highlighting his career, and then Conan comes out and talks for 10 minutes, and that's something that was true to Triplemania's past. Well, where they'd be halfway through the show, and then for some reason, I mean, this is actually really well motivated, but in years past, they would just have like a 10 or 15, sometimes 20-minute talking segment in the ring, and you're like, why is this happening now? In the middle of your WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But congratulations to Conan for getting into the AAA Hall of Fame.
Maybe in 2026, Larson, we'll induct Larson to the Going in Raw Hall of Fame.
Why did you get in first? Well, how come we didn't go in together?
Because it's Steve and Larson. My name just comes first.
Well, it's not like you started the show and then I joined on.
No.
That's what it feels like, though.
But here's the thing. Why don't we both go in together? To space out the money.
How about this? We go in together and then individually.
Like it's you and I first, and then next year it's Wrestle Juice?
Yeah.
Okay. Why would you go in by yourself at all then? You don't have a jam.
It's Barry Bratwurst.
Barry Bratwurst should get inducted into the Hall of Fame, I'll be honest with you. Yeah. Anyways, more Hall of Famers for the Reina de Reinas title. Flammer versus Fabby Apache. Versus Natalia doing her Bloodsport gimmick.
Yeah.
Why
don't they do that with her in the main roster?
I don't know. Maybe it's the kind of thing. I wonder if it's like from her perspective. It's like, I have built such a brand for myself on main roster. I don't know how the fans would feel about but it's badass. Like it's really cool.
All right, I'll say this. Maybe they just didn't want to introduce badass Natalia on main roster without a story behind it. So right now on main roster, she's affiliated with Alpha Academy. Maybe at a certain point, she'd be like, they lose too much.
Yeah.
I'm the boat.
Yeah.
So it's time to get serious, and then they introduce Bloodsport Natalia that way.
That could be. They're missing out, man. I think that she could have a whole other
That's probably
run.
Wishful thinking on my part. But
I mean, that'd be nice. But in any event, this was the match that we were really paying attention to because heel ref was there. What was his name again? Tarantis, yeah. And he was healing up. Him and Fabby Apache, they got beef going back decades. And so every time she would go for a pin, super slow count. Every time she was getting pinned, really fast count. And that's what happened in this case. Flammer got the Fabby Apache rolled up, and heel ref, whoop-ah, whoop-ah, whoop-ah. And although it was a triple threat.
Even though Fabby's foot was on the rope.
Yeah, somebody in a chat reminded us. Yeah, it's triple threat.
Doesn't break anything up. But
it was
like right there in the frame.
It seemed like they were trying to make that an added value thing. To just how bad this ref was going up against Fabby here. So afterwards, Fabby shoves Natty. Heel ref breaks it up. Hopefully teasing the next Worlds Collide,
Yeah, I mean, that would be great. I'd love to see that match. My question was, why did Fabby shove Natalya, not heel ref, who was doing the fast counts throughout?
Unknown what was said during the match. Maybe Natty did something to rub Fabby the wrong way. I don't know.
Could be. So we're getting another Worlds Collide show. They announced that September 12th, which is really soon, less than a month away.
It didn't seem super obvious what the makeup of that show was going to be besides AAA is involved. Is it going to be NXT again?
I would imagine.
I mean, you don't think they'd do Dom versus Vikingo straight up one-on-one?
Maybe.
Because that's a thing right now.
Yeah, they could. It's going to be in Las Vegas, again, September 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd be great to bring some main roster stars.
I mean, you have Omos just winning the Copa Bardal. You can have, I think that they can, the NXT, you don't want to do that. I think that there are enough to warrant like 6 matches. I think there's enough talent between the two, main roster brands and people that haven't really been used, like Omos, to do that. I mean, Otis was on the show tonight. I don't know if they're going to do an Otis thing. But, I mean, I don't know. Hey, what about Psycho Clan and Pagano versus Otis and Tozawa? Those dudes are going to keep their titles. I don't know. I think that there's enough you can do there where you don't have to. NXT already has too much going on with TNA. You don't want to add another AAA thing into it. Plus, it kind of elevates AAA a bit more,
It does. And it's going to be interesting to see what the numbers on WWE's YouTube channel were pretty good.
Yeah.
They were around 220,000. Throughout the show. Before the show even started, there was like 14,000 people waiting, so there was some anticipation for the show to see how it's received by the larger wrestling audience. That's going to be interesting to see. And if it's a situation where people watch it and be like, wow, this was great, maybe that might steer them to
work
in more main roster stars. I don't know.
Wrapped as of right now. It wrapped 48 minutes ago. It's already at 1 million views.
Yeah.
That's good, and that's just on WWE's channel. I think they did the Spanish language broadcast. I think they did it. And then that's at a little bit less. It's at 313,000. So that's pretty good numbers right now.
Yeah, I mean, by the end of the weekend, it could be up to close to 2 million, maybe.
Yeah,
which would be great. Those are great numbers. Main event was a 4-way match for the Mega title. You had Dragon Lee, El Grande Americano, Dominic Mysterio, all challenging Vikingo for that Mega title. Americano had his entrance first, and he sang his own entrance theme accompanied by a mariachi band.
Yeah. Crowd loved it.
And the crowd was singing with him.
Crowd was super into it, Yeah, this version of Grande Americano, I think, just works better because it's not cluttered with whatever the hell they were trying to do with Gable.
I know.
It sets up for when Gable does come back, and then you've got the El Grande Americano faction now who got involved in this match as well. And yeah, Ludwig just, the fact that he speaks Spanish, I think, adds a different dimension to this as well. And the crowd loves that kind of goofy shit, man. And he does this the dude does it better than Gable did it. With his big proper, the way he carries himself, his mannerisms. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, he had an interview earlier backstage.
All in Spanish.
Yeah, all in Spanish. So at one point, let me backtrack. Throughout the early part of this match, Dom and Americano were kind of working together. They put Vikingo through the English commentary table.
Great touch.
To a huge pop from the crowd because Vikingo was getting booed.
Just
mercilessly. So then Dom and Americano, they start brawling. Dragon Lee takes them out with a suicide dive. This brings out Judgment Day to ringside. They help Dom hit Dragon Lee with a 619. Dom covers. Americano breaks up that pin. LWO comes to ringside. They start brawling with JD and Finn. Dragon Lee rolls up Americano, gets a 2. Lee hits a running knee, follows with a running back elbow, gets a 2 count. There is a really good showing for Dragon Lee. They don't really do much with him on main roster. So.
They do not, yeah.
So this match was what, 16 minutes long? 15 minutes long. It was a good showing for Dragon Lee throughout this match. And it was something he really needed. So then Pete Dunne Americano and Tyler Bate Americano come to ringside. They take out the LWO. This distracts Dragon Lee. Pete Dunne gets on the apron, hits Dragon Lee with an enziguri. And then Ludwig Kaiser Americano hits this crazy step up top rope blockbuster. That was nuts.
Yeah.
On Dragon Lee. So then Lee kicks out. So then Bate and Dunn had Ludwig, the medals so he can load the mask. Lee takes Ludwig out, takes everybody out, ringside with the tope, then hits a Destino on Americano. Vikingo, coming back from getting that powerbomb, breaks up that pin. So then Vikingo hits Dragon Lee with a 450, gets a 2 there. And then Dom's ringside, he puts his mask on and gets the medal, loads his mask up, sends Vikingo out of the ring, hits Americano, and then Lee with headbutts. Dom goes up top, hits Dragon Lee with a frog splash, and then someone comes out and pulls the ref out of the ring. They unmask. It's AJ Styles. He hits Dom with a Styles Clash. Vikingo gets up the top rope, hits Dom with the 630 to get the win.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, nice little main roster integration there with AJ Styles, proving he'll go anywhere across the globe, across this wonderfully spherical globe.
Yes.
To take on
this round world we live on.
This wonderful round spherical world. I think it's a little bit wider in the middle because of gravitational pull.
Yeah, the rotation and stuff. Yeah, it's centrifugal force. When you spin something,
you go like that.
Everything goes towards the outside.
And we are spinning quite fast on this.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it, but we're spinning very fast on this spherical world we all live on.
This globe of ours. Very round.
Yeah.
Very round.
Very round.
Yes. Yeah, very much not like a plate.
No.
Or whatever they think it is.
Anyways. Donut. When they trying to pitch a donut shape?
That one, I think there might be a little bit. I got some questions about that. A lot of people say the donut theory. I like the donut theory. Like the donut is crazy. Like when you look up, you see fucking ground.
I know.
That's wild.
And then if you didn't, yeah, it doesn't make a lick of sense.
It looks great though. Because
it looks like a donut.
It just makes me hungry, and I can't eat donuts anymore. So. It makes me maybe tomorrow. Anyways, that's gonna.
You should treat yourself to a donut.
I should have been so good lately. Yeah, I actually bust down under. I was shocked. I bust down under my previous low.
That's great.
And I was like, oh man, wow!
You deserve to reward yourself.
Time to glizzy up, baby.
Yeah, have a hot dog, have a donut, get a long
like
chicken
that
sandwich
stuff
from Burger
anymore.
King.
Now I'm a lame. I don't even like that stuff.
No, see, here's the thing, Steve. If you're so ardent with this meal plan of eating healthy all the time, you're going to burn yourself out.
Now, I ate like shit in LA, man. I actually ate like shit in LA. It was great. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
You're back on track this week.
Yeah.
Give yourself another week if you really want to. Then you got to treat yourself.
Another week. You're just trying to fatten me up so that on the court you could do what J.D. McDonough did to Amber Geese and start playing my titties. Call me a fat piece of shit again, like you always do.
No, I never
It's
do
so
that.
rude that you would say those things to me.
I never say those words.
I know you think it though. I know
I
you
just give you a little friendly poke.
Do? Yeah,
on your side.
Yeah. That's so rude. That's ostensibly saying.
Yeah, no, it's for me. It's just because I know you don't like it.
Yeah.
Because you don't like people touching your side.
Nobody likes being called fat piece of shit. What's your problem?
I don't call you that. Never have. Never will. Don't think it.
Probably. Oh, you definitely think it. Definitely.
When you started dropping some LBs, I was like, hey,
what?
I noticed that.
Yeah. I don't need your validation.
I know that's not true.
Okay. Anyways, we're going to bicker off camera. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll see you guys around.
Goodbye.